Hi everybody, welcome to Minecraft PC version. I just got my PC back, so okay. And I'm gonna make a new world. Create new world. Steve. Yay! Bonus chest. Yes. And this there, this there, and this there, and this. Now I have 4 apples. 4. Wait. Slash. Spawn. Dang it. Slash. Spawn. Sheep. Dang it. Slash. Help. Slash. Game mode. Creative. Yay! Give myself an enchantment table.
I want you to keep it good, because next year you're going to have to start doing reports and stuff, and then you already have, huh?
Yes.
Use the computer to look up stuff.
Yes.
That's why we bought it for you. So you need to take care of it, so it doesn't get all gummed up again.
All right. There we go. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Yes. No. This. That. No. This is not cheating. This is not. This is infinity? What's infinity mean? Okay, now. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. Then I put this there. No. Go on head. There we go. Yeah. Okay, now. Flush. Yay! Okay. No. I'm gonna create a new world. I'm gonna name a new world. Well, cheat. Aww. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. Achievement. Getting? No, getting would getting. 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 Wow. That was a toll. That was toll. Two oh two. 202. Thanks, Grandpa. It's a lot faster now.
And I just ask you that you take more care of it. And
Yes.
watch what you're doing.
I don't know the last time I was home. Hello, America. Welcome to the Love program. On the road again this week. Tomorrow I'm going to be in San Diego. And then back in Texas, we have quite a week of programs for you. On Wednesday, I believe it is, we're going to take on the new book about Jesus. That everybody is talking about this book as it was written by some Muslim. It just has a Muslim agenda. Oh, I don't think so. I asked my staff last week when it started to take off. And my staff has been turning
Sorry.
on the box, and you won't believe what we found on Wednesday, the real agenda behind the new Jesus book. Also, this week, the anatomy of a racist comes from a theory that I had about 2 weeks ago when the Zimmerman trial was out and I was on vacation, and I came home to Tiffany and the rest of my staff, and I said, I'd really like to know, because everybody is called a racist now, what exactly is the trait of a racist? How do you know? Is there a way? Is there a pattern? Is there an anatomy of a racist? Turns out, yeah, there is. And you don't want to miss this week, not a single episode. Coming up in a second, Stu's going to help us out on a couple of things, but I just want to run down the latest news of the day that really kind of is bad. President Obama has said that he's going to spend the next 1,276 days working for the middle class of Americans that are struggling. Things in America now are so bad that, get this stat, I have to read it verbatim because I can't believe it's true. 4 in 5 Americans, 4 in every 5 Americans are now facing joblessness, near poverty, or reliance on welfare in some aspects of your life or their life. 4 out of 5.
It's what I need.
If you're not getting government subsidies
It's what I
right now,
need.
then
What
you
I was
must be
made
that
for.
5th person. That's how bad it is. And in fact, the president feels so bad that he's now going to take another vacation at a $7.6 million private resort, and he has booked the rooms, 75 rooms for his staff. That's how bad he feels about it. But he should take a vacation after all. He did such a great job in Egypt. We had what I would call something that almost looked like the Night of Long Knives that happened in Egypt over the weekend. The Night of Long Knives, you might remember, was the day that Hitler killed all of his SA, all of the stormtroopers. He killed them in one night and said, for the country. There was a coup, it was getting very, very dangerous. And so he in one night killed all of the people that were really on his side at the very, very beginning and took power in that one night. That's kind of what it looked like a little bit in Egypt. It was anybody talking about the Christians, the brave Christians, the brave Jews that are still there and afraid for their life. Meanwhile, the president says we have nothing but phony scandals that are happening. I love this. Scandals that he himself said weren't phony. He apologizes, and he's going to look into them. He wants to get to the bottom of it. And yet now they're all phony, which is weird. This weekend, a group of Special Forces vets went to Capitol Hill and unveiled a 60-foot scroll of signatures demanding an investigation into Benghazi. You know what's really strange? The people who survived Benghazi, we still haven't heard from them yet. They're kind of missing. We haven't talked to them. Strange, isn't it? And then there's one other thing, and that is the picture of remember the firefighters that were raising the flag for 9/11? That almost didn't make it into the museum, which still isn't open, and we don't really have a date of when that 9/11 museum will open at Ground Zero. I'm really not that interested in going to see it anymore. I wasn't interested when we had to, I think, have to make an apology to the Indians someplace.
There we go.
Museum.
No.
One of the guys who was putting it together said that he didn't want
You
one
cannot tell me.
iconic image
You cannot build
because
here.
it really
Go somewhere
was a
else.
much more complex day than having just one simple image or simple answer to it. Me? Because maybe it's just me. I'm no historian, but I don't remember 9/11 being that complicated. I remember a bunch of Islamic extremists got onto a plane and then flew those planes with a bunch of innocent Americans into a building. In fact, 2 of them full of innocent Americans. It wasn't more complex than that. But they're changing everything. Everything is changing. That will be a conversation that we'll have here in just a few minutes, because I think it's a conversation that we have to start to have, because our back is up against the wall. And we have to change the way we're fighting. We have to change the way we're looking at things. Or surrender. But I'm not into the surrender thing, especially when the news is so much fun. Like with Anthony Weiner. I have some thoughts on that too, and I'll share that, and Stu will fill us into the details on Anthony Weiner. Next.
Oh yeah, no, not yet. Huh? How did I like that, stupid tree?
This is the Glenn Beck program.
From the Wiener desk in Dallas, Texas. Hello, America. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program and the Blaze. I'm Stuber here. Glenn will join us again shortly. We here at the Glenn Beck take our art very seriously. As you know, Glenn was included in Art Review Magazine's Power 100 in the art world. And Glenn has contributed several enduring artistic pieces, but no doubt his piece, you know that thing, that pièce de résistance. And you gotta get the proper in there. It was, of course, Obama in PP, which benefited Mercury One's Hope for the Holidays Fund. Point is, we recognize the high quality of art when we see it. And when it comes to lying, progressives are turning it into an art form. Anthony Weiner, the Picasso of liars. Now, normally I wouldn't get bothered talking about Weiner's idiotic sexting habits, but he's bound to stay in the race for New York City mayor. And the amazing thing is, despite his shameful actions, he is the one walking around with a chip on his shoulder. This should be like the lowest moment in the man's life, and yet still, he's an arrogant jerk. Picasso. Look at this exchange with a former New York City school teacher.
I don't quite understand how you would feel you would have the moral authority as the head administrator of the city to oversee employees when your standard of conduct is so much lower than the standard of conduct that's expected.
Are you not voting for me?
I was not voting for you, sir.
I certainly understand that, but I want to let other people make the decision.
I
Fair enough.
understand that, but you
Thank
didn't
you.
answer the question.
Listen, you basically stated that that's your position. My position.
My question to you is,
Yeah, let me
how
just
could
answer the
you-
question.
how
Let me
could-
just answer the
Go right
question.
ahead, I'm waiting.
My view is that I want to let your neighbors make their decisions for themselves based on all the information they have. You made your decision. You wouldn't deny them the right to make theirs, would you?
No, I wouldn't, but I don't understand how you stand there, how do you say, how do you,
She would have lost her job and you're running for mayor.
I've been waiting here for quite a while, I've negotiated if you would
Right.
individual consent.
Oh, man, he asked him a legitimate question about having any moral authority, and he doesn't answer the question. His favorability rating has dropped from 52% to 30%, and he's lost his lead, now trailing Christine Quinn by a 25 to 16 margin. But honestly, it scares me that this man can have one supporter left, let alone thousands. His favorability rating should be 0. His polling numbers should be 0. You could agree with him on every single topic. You could be pro-infidelity, pro-sexting, and pro-more Weiner picks. But even those people can't possibly trust Weiner is ever telling them the truth. He hasn't been honest about any of it. Not then, not now, not ever. The guy can't stop lying. Even when he's caught red-handed. During the first Weiner game, and Weiner said he had been hacked. Remember that? Despite obviously knowing this hacking claim was false because, he himself sent the pictures. We learned yesterday that Weiner had a private eye and paid him $45,000 in campaign cash to investigate the so-called hacking of his Twitter account to find out if someone had my password. That's taking lying to a whole new level. He was willing to spend money donated to him by regular stupid Americans on an investigation he knew was a complete and total waste of time. But back at Weiner, himself a victim of
Yes.
a prank. He was finally forced to admit that,
Stupid
yeah,
dirt.
I did.
I hate
send
dirt.
those wiener pics. But even when it all came crashing down, even when there was no reason to lie because he'd already hit rock bottom, he still continued to lie. Watch what he said in his tearful press conference.
Last Friday night, I tweeted a photograph of myself that I intended to send as a direct message as part of a joke for a woman in Seattle. Once I realized I had posted it to Twitter, I panicked. I took it down and said that I had been hacked. I then continued with that story to stick to that story, which was a hugely regrettable mistake.
Yeah.
This woman was unwittingly dragged into this and bears absolutely no responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to have disrupted her life in this way. To be clear, the picture wasn't me, and I sent it. I'm deeply sorry for the pain this has caused the wife, Uma, and our family,
Of course, I'm gonna make calm.
and my constituents, my friends, supporters, and staff.
He meant that. That's why he only kept the sexting for 14 months after the press conference. I mean, that's how you handle that. But did you notice the line there? As part of a joke. It wasn't a joke. You were sexting because you wanted to hook up with a bunch of women online. Of course, no one in the media bothered to follow up and ask, can you elaborate on what sort of joke involves a congressman sending pictures of his crotch to young women who are still in school? He couldn't say with certitude that the crotch picture was him. And now he can only narrow down the number of online trysts he's had between 6 and 10. 6 and 10. You can't even remember the number of young women he's helped corrupt. What a guy! By the way, I just want you to remember, progressives are the champions for women. They are the ones helping to revive the image of women around the world and make them more respected. I think Anthony Weiner is pretty much the Rambo of the war on women. Weiner treated women as meat via the internet. Elliot Spitzer paid to do the same in person. They're both still running. And then there's the progressive activist who sexted with Weiner. She just did a bikini photo shoot with a pose. Ooh. It's a pretty wonderful, seriously, it's a pretty wonderful way to fight that war on women, isn't it? Good job. Way to take that one on, head on there, Sydney. I really respect you more now. I smell victory really soon in that war on women. And then there's Weiner's wife. She may have forgiven Weiner, but who knows? I can't even keep track of that anymore, but I just can't believe she's still on board with this guy. After he's clearly shown he doesn't give a flying crap. She looks awful in all of this, like she's selling her soul in exchange for some political power. Even Hillary Clinton is reportedly pissed that the Weiner scandal is being compared to that of the Clinton sex scandals. They're reportedly trying to distance themselves from Wienergate as much as possible. After all, you wouldn't want any distractions from the upcoming Hillary Clinton miniseries that just got picked up by NBC. Consider this the opening salvo by Hollywood in what appears to be a steady dose of good old-fashioned Hillary propaganda leading up to 2016. NBC will be producing a 4-hour miniseries about Hillary. Will be played by Diane Lane. I'm not a casting agent, but I'm not sure I would have gone that route. I'm going to go for realism. You probably would say Kathy Bates, potentially. Diane Lane as Hillary Clinton is like casting Brad Pitt to play Michael Moore, or George Clooney to play Dennis Kucinich. It doesn't really work. They're going to do their best, though, to lionize Hillary before 2016. Hopefully the media won't forget about the phony scandal with the phony dead people that is Benghazi. And when pressed about the deaths of a U.S. ambassador and 3 other Americans under her watch, your response was this classic.
Level 1.
Four dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night decided to go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
I can't even tell. Is that pretty serious? Is that Diane Lane? I can't even tell. Wow, that is going to be brilliant. The fact that the government is lying about and covering up what really happened in Benghazi makes a big difference. The truth makes a difference. Apparently not to progressives. Not even when it comes to preserving the truth on 9/11. Glenn mentioned at the top of the show, the bureaucracy in the aftermath of September 11th has been nothing short of a disgrace. They didn't even break ground on the rebuilding until 2006. When they started, the new tower was going to be named the Freedom Tower. Back the first steel beam from the base of the tower along the cornerstone had Freedom Tower engraved in it. But now, It's no longer the Freedom Tower, because according to the chairman of the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey
There
Court,
we go.
as we market the
Oh,
building,
wait, there might be
we'll ensure
more.
that the building is presented in the
Dang
best
it.
possible way. In other words, freedom is not the best possible way to
Yes, there
describe
is
this
more.
building. Just using its physical
There's
accuracy
more
is a
to it
better
than
bet.
meets the eye.
That same attitude of retreat and political correctness that is happening. And that's going on too at the 9/11 Museum. This
Wow.
picture was vehemently protested by the creators of the museum because it was too, quote, rah-rah American for some. And once again, diminished America as the preferred way to memorialize 9/11. Quote, I really believe that the way America will look best, the way we can really do best, is to not be Americans so vigilantly, so vehemently. Vehement Americans, who wants to be a vehement American? This is what
Now I
progressives
just do
believe.
that.
They are
And
ashamed of America. They think America is oppressing the world. This belief is the motivation behind Obama's apology tour. This is the mentality that is infecting America. The progressive
And
mentality. And its two most dangerous components are, one, America is bad, and two, the ends justify the means. Both
I'm mine
are
until my
lies.
fingers
As we've seen time and time
die.
again, progressives have made lying.
I'm mine until I
Love
die.
that. It's coming back.
Introducing the Blaze Radio Network, a free online radio network created by Glenn Beck. But it's way more than just Glenn. Built for conservatives and libertarians looking for uncompromised truth in their news and information, with simulcasts of Glenn's radio and TV programs, Pat Still and Real News, plus original content with hosts Doc Thompson, Jay Severin,
Come on,
Sexton,
yeah.
and more.
Come on,
The Blaze Radio
yeah.
Network is
Come
free.
on,
Wait for it
yeah.
now at
Yeah.
theblaze.com/radio. Blaze.com/radio.
Hey, being side with the arrow knife, light as air, cuts like a razor, and food slides right off. Even with a $50 shot knife, it cuts, but food sticks like a magnet. The arrow knife has holes, 60% less surface area means less friction.
That means
It cuts
Leslie.
twice as smooth, and food doesn't
How
stick.
could I
Wanna
like
cut the
Leslie?
cheese? With an ordinary knife, you have to twist
Like I
hard,
said,
and cheese sticks to
mine
the knife.
till I
With an arrow
die.
knife, no force, strength, or pressure, and the cheese
Oh, God.
falls right off. The arrow knife normally sells for $50. But order right now, I'll cut the price to $10. And for a limited time, you can double your order and get a second arrow knife. You can also get the world's famous knife sharpener, the Edge of Glory, to keep your arrow knife razor sharp. You can get it all for the incredible TV price of $10. When you order, find out about free shipping. Call 1-800-759-1339. Get a special offer, second arrow knife and a knife sharpener with your purchase.
No.
That's 1-800-759-1339. Call now.
goodbye.
You are the model the world is crying out for. Stand up and take the ring. Freedom is something precious.
Freedom is a choice. America is a choice.
Yes, you won't take me away because I'm too good. It's too good to be that way.
The safety of my family weighs heavily on my mind these days. It always does. God forbid the unthinkable happens. And I need to know that I've armed my wife and my daughters and my son with the knowledge and skills to protect themselves. That's why I want you to know about Tim Larkin. He's the founder of Target Focus Training,
There we go.
creator of 5secondsurvival.com. Tim was in the office and we talked to him about that all of us are the first responders. We have to be. Violence happens so quickly. It's over within just seconds. We can't always wait for the police. We have to know what to do in order to save ourselves, our children, our family. Especially when you don't live in a place where you have a gun. That's why I've asked Tim Larkin to come to my home and train my family. I surprised my wife and my kids were like, they were really excited. They were like, yes, please. He's also coming here to our Blaze family to train the family here as well. So I would like you to check out this program, 5secondsurvival.com. See for yourself. Learn the basics in just hours and retain the skills for life. Anybody can do it. You can do it. Because the only person that you can count on to save your life is you. Go to 5secondsurvival.com right now. That's 5secondsurvival.com.
There we go. from Playtime.
So, it's his network, so I guess we should let him talk. Glenn Beck is
that what it is?
yeah, that's your intro.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I just wanted to go over. Yeah. Go ahead, Bill. What do you got? I wanted to go over a couple of things. First of all, and I want to throw this out to you. I plan on doing this on radio yesterday. When you were on radio tomorrow, but you were talking about Anthony Weiner. I just want to. I have nothing to back this up. This is just something that bothers me. I just wanted to get your view on it. He is down.
Yes.
He is down to Christine Quinn, 25 to 16%. Yep. Anthony Weiner's wife works for Hillary. The anguish that she is going through on a daily basis next to Hillary, and Hillary's ability to relate has got to be enormous. So you
There we
know
go.
that Hillary is, because I think all women would be, all humans would be, just sickened by this guy and what he's doing. Would you say yes so far?
You are with me, so I'm right with me step by step.
Okay, but if you are working with his wife,
Oh no.
you are doubling the sickening.
What am I saying no for? For
Sure,
some reason.
now put yourself with Hillary Clinton, not just the Secretary of State, but you're also married to Bill Clinton.
This
So
music
that
is calm.
grabs the engine a little bit more.
It's
But
peaceful
you're
too.
also the possible 2016 presidential candidate. You are the ones that were just dissed by George Soros and the others because they went for Barack Obama, and you know that the Clintons have an enormous amount of power in the Democratic Party. Let me ask you just on a human standpoint. Why hasn't Hillary Clinton, or better yet, Bill Clinton, just called him up and
There you
said,
go.
look, dude, I got a wiener problem too, I understand. But this is hurting the party, right? Yeah, well, this is hurting the party, and we got to get you out of there.
No.
And look, we'll back you all the way, us, the twins, and I believe me, I understand. So we'll just go ahead. We'll help you in 2016. Just get out now. I think a favor is being done. I don't think this was intentional. I just don't think, they're not really calling the dogs off. Why? Could it be that he's also, while he's a despicable human being, and nobody planned this, nobody's working real hard in the Clinton campaign to get him off the track, because Christine Quinn, what does New York really know about her? She's gonna win. She's the one that's always looking for the other hand. She's the one that is the right-hand person for Bloomberg and the architect, they say, for a lot of his nightmares. So is it possible that, A, he's just arrogant, and this is the way our community service people are starting to behave? They don't really care, and they're so arrogant, they despise you little people that just don't understand that they're flawed and they can do whatever they want. Or are they making lemonade out of lemons by also diverting the attention away from Christine Quinn?
It's interesting. I mean, that is the only thing people are talking about in the mayoral election right now is Anthony Weiner. And at this point,
Not her.
Yeah, not her. No one. And people have said this to me, and I'm probably guilty of it. In that, yeah, but what about this Christine Quinn? And I just say, it just can't be Anthony Weiner. It's anyone but Anthony Weiner.
Exactly right. And when, so by the time he gets out, you don't care. It's just not him.
Yeah, and she could be. I mean, her policies, by all indications, are at least as bad as Anthony Weiner's. I don't think you're
And
getting.
so we're talking about his wiener and his scandals instead. And this is the way the progressives are working now. They're not doing anything but just talking about scandals, even if they bring it up on themselves. Remember, it was Hillary Clinton that started the birther thing. She was the one that started that. That came from her camp. And the only people that I know, besides the fringe, that were ever bringing up the birth certificate was the White House. They always talk about scandals or something else to get them off. The scandals do better for them than their policies.
Yeah, I just
That's what I
find it
remember
interesting.
before.
Only in immediate environment like this could that be possible.
Exactly right, and they're using that. Let me go on to a couple of other things. Michelle Bachmann, I had her on the radio today. You can find that story up at the Blaze. I don't think it's even marked radio or Glenn Beck or anything. I think it's just about Michelle Bachmann, where she explains her vote against the defunding of the NSA. to me, it doesn't work, and here's why. And I'm not claiming that there's anything nefarious with Michelle or anything. I think she has come to me several times over the last year or so and said, Glenn, I can't tell you anything because I'm sworn to secrecy on the Intel committee. She said, but you don't know, there is real trouble on the horizon. I'm like, I know, Michelle. You listen to my show? And she's like, no, I don't think you even get it. So she's very concerned about domestic terror and what's already here in the United States. But she voted against the defunding of the NSA, and it bothers me because I want to minimize the risks to our citizenry, but you can't live in a risk-free environment. And the risk of the federal government becoming completely out of control and run by thugs and wieners is growing daily and getting worse and worse. And so she's making a decision based on the security of the United States, but I'm making a decision. I don't want to become everything we despise. If we're safe but we have no freedom, what difference does it make? She says that nothing is going on with the NSA that is, she said that she's talked to the head of the NSA and the assistant director of the Justice Department, and I'm like, yeah, and I've seen them under oath lie time and time again. Here's what I want to ask progressives, and I want you to ask anybody who might have been that person who was like, George W. Bush, he was building the Death Star. I agree with you that the Death Star was being built. I still don't think that they were entirely building it because they are stormtroopers. However, I think there were a handful of stormtroopers there, just like I don't think that every Democrat is a stormtrooper either. I think there are a handful, maybe a couple handfuls of stormtroopers that are seeing this technology and thinking, I can control everybody with information. Information is power. That's already been demonstrated. They demonstrated it with the AP story, with the scandal going on there. They've demonstrated it with Benghazi. They've demonstrated it by threatening the press. They've demonstrated it with the IRS and the Tea Party. This is an out-of-control government, and we can't allow them. I would rather all be Americans and be taken by surprise, and then all of us get together and say, let's go get the bad guys, than have a government that has every scrap of information on all of us and fall into the hands of the wrong progressive, both Republican and Democrat, and then they choose who's going to be a lawbreaker or not. I trust the people much more than I trust the government, and I don't understand it.
Would you say though, isn't her argument going to be next time there's a huge terrorist attack, where's this libertarian streak going to go when there's bodies on the street?
The libertarian streak is going to go right where it was for the Boston massacre that just happened. When the Boston massacre just happened, the latest Boston massacre, when that happened, I was still saying the same thing. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. I mean, I trust Americans. I trust our local police forces. I trust our local sheriffs. I trust, even to this day, somewhat the FBI. I know a lot of good FBI people, but they're not being allowed to do their job. I don't trust the people in Washington, and neither should you. We're in bed with the Muslim Brotherhood. We're in bed with Saudi Arabia. Where do you think all of this terror is coming from? It's coming from the Middle East. Much of it from the Muslim Brotherhood, much of it from Saudi Arabia. We're on the wrong side. We can't even identify that the good guys are Israel and the bad guys are the Muslim Brotherhood. Why should I expect my government to protect me when they can't recognize the good side as opposed to the bad side? Let me just change the topic here for a second. Do we have time?
Yeah, we got about a couple minutes here.
Okay, so let me change the subject here on the World Trade Center. First of all, the World Trade Center is a building estimated at 3.8.
Put this one back on, or are you fine with that one?
So
I'm fine with this one.
One of the most expensive buildings, the one in Dubai, that was what?
1.5.
1.2, 1.4 billion dollars. Why is the World Trade Center, the Freedom Tower, which is not anymore, $3.8 billion? That shows this country can't get it done anymore when the Empire State Building cost us $500 million, and that is in today's dollars, and was built in 11 months. We can't even build it, but let's go underneath it. Let's start looking at the museum. I have no intention of ever going to that museum, and I'm a guy who loves history and museums. That museum is going to be a nightmare. When you're saying that they don't want the picture of the firefighters, well, that's the way we remember. That's what we
Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, I will see you in the next video.
Why? What, should we take down the statue of Iwo Jima as well? Why? Why are we not, and I'll tell you why we're not being allowed
Bye-bye.
to remember